you see a lot of people who've got into Google talking about how difficult it is to get into Google. Now, 2
Yeah.
out of 60 is still a strict conversion, but people
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
it's
how
tough.
strict the process was, how difficult the process is, right? I know you will be.
It's not, yeah, it's not easy for sure. It's not very tough for sure also. I mean, I met somebody at a bar actually who knew somebody who was working at Google, and they said, hey, we're recruiting a lot. And I said, sure, like, why don't you put an application? And actually, that's how Google happened. There was just literally a few, they were like 60, 70 people called on the day to do a test and everything, uh, out of which two of us got in. I mean, I keep telling my wife. So my wife has cracked Google, Facebook in the same lifetime, and that's actually even more tougher, right? Because to crack, actually, Facebook is tougher. But in reality, when I joined Google, they were on a hiring spree. That was one, but still they were very strict, right? They would not hire. They would in fact shelve projects instead of hiring some people. I also got it as a lateral. Lateral is way tougher than campus, because campus they have to hire X number of people on the day, so they do it a little quicker. But I came in where they could take all the time in the world. I already had a job, so I went through almost 6 to 8 rounds at that point.
Nice.
And it's more general cognitive ability than skill actually in Google. They hire a certain personality type. It's not, they don't hire for your resume, or they don't hire for your yes, for engineering and like for more technical roles, yes, they hire from school and the sort of the your merit. But for non-engineering roles, it's a very generic hiring process. So they hire you based on personality, they hire you based on communication, your general leadership. If you're thrown into a problem, how do you innovatively in the interview think about coming out of it? So they think on how you think on the fly rather than prep and come. So this I was anyway always sort of good at. I could never prepare. Even like, I know you sent me a bunch of questions. I didn't even see any of the questions, right? So I generally always prefer that I am unprepared for something. And so Google exactly was that. I was super unprepared. I just went with the flow. And it just so happened that 8, 9 people liked me, so it just got through.
How do you keep yourself motivated? Because there is paranoia also building on. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are already in May, 5 months down. Okay. We only have 7 months left. Okay. 210 days left only, as an example. How do you balance that out? And not just balance for yourself, but balance for your organization, balance for your peers, as well as balance
Yeah.
for family. More
Yeah.
importantly, you're married. So how do you balance all of that as an entrepreneur?
So it's tough. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not as hunky dory as it seems. But the two things we've always followed is that we've never really. So we have all worked before. Okay, so this is not our life.
Yeah.
So we took the startup as we'll do it very passionately, ethically, and we'll do it well. If it works, works. If it doesn't work, doesn't matter, right? So we've always kept it like that. Our quorum of the
Isn't that as a
company.
safety net? But isn't that as a safety net that you have a net to? It's like you're walking the tightrope with your hands back. If you fall, you
Yeah,
will not die. You have a safety
yeah,
net.
yeah. And that's I think the advantage of working for a decade, right? So you have some financial safety net, you have some emotional safety net, you have some personal safety net, right? So it could not be the case with everyone, but for us, I'm saying it's as I said, I have not invested all my life into my startup, right? So yes, we'll do it right. We know we're solving a big problem. If it works, works. But we're not going to stress out and spoil our health because of this, right? So we still stress out a lot because we are at that cusp, and we think that right now, if we don't break out and we don't micromanage, don't get stuff done, we are going to ruin an opportunity that could be a multi-billion-dollar opportunity today, right? But that doesn't mean that we will go and spend all our day, all our night, all our this thing on this one. So if you look at anybody in my company also, they are not going to be obsessed like a typical startup that they are working 24 hours, 360 days a week, right? So we have made sure that we need work-life balance as well. We have families with kids, and we've made sure our people also get the same culture. So culturally, what we've done as a company is that we work as friends. We are a very small company, just 70 people, 75 people globally. And we don't intend to scale beyond a certain level. And so, but we made sure that whoever is there is extremely high quality. We hire for culture and motivation rather than, so this is a hiring ground level thing that we've done from the first day, right? And then it is just hopefully translated across the company, right?
Okay.
Where everyone's sort of self-motivated.
Nice.
Yes, they meet me, they meet Gaurav once in a while and they get even more pumped up. But most people, since also in pandemic remote, You
Yeah.
don't have an office space or office culture. We have hired for more self-starters than people who need a lot of emotional hand-holding.
Yeah.
Right. So, and also same when I joined Google, we knew how we hired birds of the same feather, right? They mostly flock together. So we've tried to incorporate some of these things in our company also. Like, how do we make sure that all of you are of a certain type rather than of a certain skill?
Okay.
This is how we have solved. I think our attrition has been like low single digits. Like, people who join us have not really left.
Nice.
Right. So that's the other thing we pride upon, that hey, we've set up a company where people think twice to leave. Rather, let's put it that way. All right, they'll come and ask me, in fact, should I leave? Do you think it's the right thing to do? And I'm very open in my counsel. If I really think some of my people are getting an insane career opportunity, I tell them to go. Saying, man, I would have taken this shot as well, right? Do it. So we've kept it like that. It's a very informal company. That's the biggest win that we've had.
Interesting. Now, let's switch to your personal side. How do you keep yourself updated on what's happening, especially in the spatial space? And more importantly, how do you keep yourself sane? Like you said, you're managing your personal work-life balance.
Yeah.
How do you do that, right? What do you do? What are your tips for other entrepreneurs?
For me, sports is everything. I play, I watch. I'm very into sports. I mean, my dream was, I didn't have the physical ability to be an athlete, but I always look up to professional athletes a lot, because you have somehow, it's not easy to go pro. I've seen it. It's you need extreme amount of discipline, lot of dedication, lot of hard work, to get there. So I think startup is like you're going pro, right? So I've always also believed, if your company should be a franchise, it can't be a team, right? So, and you want to be a franchise, you have to hire. It should be an ecosystem of support. You have to have the good players. You have to have coaches. You need to have medical staff. So that's how we build the company also. Like, we only take high performers who understand that they're a part of a cogwheel that has to run.
Yeah.
So for me, I keep myself sane by playing, watching. For me, sports is the only other let out I have, right? Because of there's no time in general. Two is that I obviously love spending time with my daughter. She's 2. So it's been very interesting to be a parent. I started my startup, became a parent the next year.
Oh, wow.
So I had 2 kids the same year. So I think it's a very interesting journey to watch your kids grow up. I never thought I'll feel like this. I never thought I'll have this sort of emotional connect to this one small child, right? So it's unreal to see what's going on. So I think that's the other part of it. She, even the worst of days, you go and hug your kid, and it's like somehow magically okay. So I think these two are, for me, keeping it going is what I would say.
I hope you enjoyed this clip from my podcast series called Masters Decoded. The intention of bringing these clips to you is to allow you to understand some key moments of the conversations I've had with my guest. I would recommend and highly encourage you to listen to the entire podcast, which you can find the link to the podcast in the description below. I look forward to you subscribing to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified of all the future clips which we keep releasing every week on this channel.